What up, family? You know what it is. Busy day, like every day. You know we stay productive over here on this side, man. So I'm gonna be getting myself together for the day, man, and just chopping it up, man. And we're gonna share some good game, and we're gonna go out there and make it happen, man. But anyway, I just want to get on here today and talk about you must pay for your actions. You must pay for your actions. And that can mean a lot of different things. It can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And what I mean specifically in this case is I'm seeing this story go viral about the NBA player, Andrew Edwards. I believe that's his name, Andrew Edwards. I don't watch a lot of sports, man. The reason I don't watch a lot of sports is because, shout out to the athletes out there that's doing their thing, living their dream. But I can't spend a lot of time watching someone else live out their dream. I can't see myself sitting on the couch for hours and hours and hours at a time watching a bunch of multimillionaires on TV live out their dream. So anyway, just have to put that disclaimer out there, man. But his incident with his daughter's mom, I don't even know the young lady's name. I don't know if it's Asia or whatever. But supposedly she's little baby's baby mom, whatever. And it's funny, man, how all of these stories, how people have time to talk about these stories. Now, for content creators, I get it because, there's that's what you do as a content creator, right? But now the thing I want to say about that is, so the story is, many of you may already know the story, but basically, and Andrew Edwards, he doesn't want anything to do with the baby mom. He's allegedly he's offering to pay, over $1 million up front child support because he doesn't want to be in the I won't even say the child's life, but maybe it's the child's life, man. But he's really upset that the lady that he's dealing with, I'm sure it was only supposed to be for fun, and now a young life is getting ready to come out of this, quote unquote fun that they were having. But the reality of it is, I think I saw Shannon Sharp in Ocho Cinco's show, and Shannon, he had me laughing when he said, man, you can't put raw meat on them, man. You can't put raw meat on them. And that's the reality of it is, man. When you're doing adult things like that, then and you're taking a risk, because it is a risk every time for my young fellas out there, man. I know y'all listen. I hope y'all listen in biology. But do you know how many seeds? I'm not gonna say the S word. I don't know how to say the S word, but you know how many seeds come up out of you, man, when you do your thing? Like millions. And so if you're dealing with a young lady who is healthy, then you're really putting yourself at risk. And so, when these things happen, it's really upsetting, because I went through it when I was young. I went through it. I was, just having fun with somebody, and then boom, a life came out of that. And I was upset. I felt like Anthony Edwards. I was a young guy, man. I was in my early 20s, and I was going through a lot of things within my own life at that time. And so as a young man, still trying to figure things out. I mean, he has things figured out way more than I did, of course. I didn't have multi tens of millions of dollars contracts. And so I was just trying to figure out, how to pay my college tuition or my problems was a little different. But let alone they were problems that I hadn't addressed yet as a young man, trying to figure things out in life. And so I said some really awful things to this young lady at that time. And I'm glad she didn't listen to me, because my beautiful daughter was born. And when she was born, the moment she was born, my life changed. And all of a sudden, my life had a different purpose and a different meaning. I was still a young, struggling young man that, I didn't have multi-millions like this guy. And so I had to really figure things out, man. It was scary. But man, I love my daughter dearly. Like Chad Ochocinco says, man, he loves kids. I mean, I love kids. My mom owned a daycare coming up, and I worked in her daycare. And I've just, I have a big family that I come from, and kids have just always been a part of my life. I took part in raising some of my younger siblings, and so. But during that time period, man, it was really scary, man. It was really scary, and I didn't really want anything to do with it. But in turn, I'm glad that the young lady did not listen to me. Now, despite the relationship that me and the young lady have or had, over the years of raising our daughter, that doesn't have anything to do with the child. Children, they don't ask to be here. And so when things like this happen, we can't be surprised when it happens. And I know it's easy to say that in hindsight of 2020, because this young man is probably around the same age as I was when I went through a similar situation. But I get it. He's upset. He probably said some things that once the child gets here, he's probably gonna take back. But it's sometimes, and I don't know him and the young lady's relationship, but I know she made a response video. And when I heard that response video, man, it was so cringy. I mean, it was cringy. It was cringy. It was low class. It was, it was obnoxious. It was selfish. It was, I'm more than what I am. It was ignorant. It was, So let's talk about what she said. She basically, because she's getting a lot of heat for it, and so I understand her feelings may be hurt too, and so she feel like she had to hit back something, right? And so I get that part, right? She basically said a lot of the people that are commenting decide to lay up with men who can't take care of their kids, men who leave you on Section 8 your whole life, men who you have to chase down for $250. Then she goes on to talk about how people who are making comments live in dirty homes, and just have this stereotype about people who made comments about her. And she just basically, her message was, hey, I decide to, whenever I indulge in adult activities, I decide to lay down with multimillionaires, while y'all decide to lay down with, broke people who don't have $2 to rub together. Pretty much, not in the words, but just to sum everything up. And so a lot of people felt some kind of way about that, right? But just the arrogance, just the you can almost see the type of woman she is based on just the arrogance and the way she said what she said. You know, she's an older lady, much older than this young man, right? And so she's been in the game a long time. She's probably dealt with her fair share of athletes, and apparently, if you don't have certain digits in the bank, she's not dealing with you, right? And on one hand, you could say, well, um, a woman's natural instinct is to reproduce with men who can protect and provide, right? That's one of the key ingredients to a woman's nature when it comes to choosing a mate, right? And so on one hand, you got to say, well, that makes sense. But then you go into the other side of it. And the other side of it is you only deal with men who have resources because your goal, your primary goal is to extract those resources from that man. And it really has nothing to do with that man. If you leave Anthony Edwards, strip away his NBA contract, and just the man, Anthony Edwards, who stands as himself, right? Would he be good enough for that young lady to deal with in that way? And based on what she said, no, he wouldn't be good enough, right? And no man who doesn't have a certain amount of zeros in their bank account would be good enough. Now, do you fault that woman for feeling that way? I don't know. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to do what they will with their own body. But then you have to also understand that if you do end up having a situation like this with a woman like that, and she comes after you financially, even if you want to be the best dad ever, even if you want to be in the child's life, and someone like that comes to try to take you through the cleaners, right? Then that's a morality problem. That's a morality problem. It's no longer about the child. It's about, how can I come up? How can she come up? What can she do, right? Because I still don't agree with a lot of the child support laws that they have in this country. And I personally believe that is destroying so many relationships. It's destroying so many men in particular. And I believe that system is not regulated in a way that it should be regulated. And as a result, it's causing men to not want to get married, not want to have families. How is that going to translate into the overall mentality of men throughout the United States? We already see. And so I don't want to go into that. But just the way that this system is able to be used and abused by the women. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe that this system should be for deadbeat dads. Now, if you don't want to be in your child's life, you got to pay. But I really, truly believe that if a man wants to be in his child's life and be a great father, that should be off the table, right? But morality, the mentality of a lot of women out here, like this Asia girl, I believe that's her name, Asia, that's running rampant in today's society. And so a lot of women would much rather ruin the trust of a man wanting to do his part as a father and go and run to the governments and to the courts to extract this man's resources without him having any control over it, right? That's a form of betrayal. That's how us men look at it. We look at that as a form of betrayal. And you have to look at you, for men, for most men, I want to say, man, if you don't have this kind of game, then you need to get up on this kind of game, right? If you should, it should be pretty easy to tell if a woman is there for the right reasons. But hey, you might not be there for the right reasons. And so there needs to be some kind of understanding when you're dealing with a woman, and when a woman is dealing with a man, there needs to be some kind of understanding. Hey, we're doing X, Y, and Z. If this happens, then you know, if A, B, or C happens, then this is how we're gonna approach it, right? Now that would be the more mature thing to do, but hey, we all live in a moment, right? But anyway, I just think that men should be more cautious about the women that they lay down with, man. I think that men should be more cautious about putting themselves in positions that could extract resources. Now, Andrew Edwards, man, he's gonna make more money than most CEOs, like more CEO. Um, he's gonna make more money than most men ever will in a lifetime, times 3 or 4, right? And what happens is a lot of men who make money so fast, young like this, they lose it later on in life. And so I hope that's not the case for this young man here. But we have to really be cautious and protect our pockets and protect our meat. You got to protect your pockets. You got to protect your meat, you know. And you got to understand that there are consequences that comes with not having discipline over your meat. And so anyway, man, I went a little longer than I wanted to on this video, but I just want to leave y'all with that. I'm finna finish getting ready for the day because I got a lot going on. I'm trying to get my chicken bag up, man. I hope y'all trying to do the same. So I appreciate you for watching, family. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Let me know what y'all think about the situation, man. Drop me a comment below, man, and let me know if you want me to talk about other subjects like this, man. But anyway, man, I'm gonna get at you.